Newcastle bow out in the Carabao Cup, and this is the complete story, the works. I'm Ken, and this is Inside the Toon. Eddie Howe's held his press conference ahead of the game against Man City on Wednesday evening. Newcastle come into this with a injury list longer than my arm and no transfers in January again. Shall we see what he had to say? Eddie started off by talking about the injured players and giving us an update on them. Sven Botman is available, but both Bruno and Lewis Miley are unlikely to feature. Howe said they try to minimise injuries and that there's a lot of thought going into team selections, but a lot have been knocked and little we can do about it. He said the Magpies have to have belief that they can turn the results around against Man City because they have the players that can go to any stadium in the world and score goals. On Man City, he said it's going to be an almighty challenge. We just have to try to win the game. If we have that mentality and attack the game, then let's see what we can do. On Newcastle, he said if we can put the best bits together from Liverpool and PSG recent games, then we have a chance, basically. Eddie talked at length about the transfer window and the lack of activity in the transfer window. Jamal Lascelles has gone to Leicester today, as I record this, mid-afternoon on Tuesday. On the rest of the transfer window, it wasn't possible financially. If we were going to bring anybody in, it was going to be younger players for development. He said that they've been working under these conditions for a while now. There's a willingness to spend what we can, but we have to spend in our limit. So PSR and the new financial controls that are coming in for next season, we're still going to be limited by what we can and cannot do. So we'll just have to see what they can find in the summer, to be honest. But we are stuck now with the injuries and the lack of transfers. Eddie was asked about Sandro Tonali and the rumours that his agent had contacted Arsenal. He said there was no Arsenal interest, really. There was no intention to allow him to leave. He's an integral part of what we're doing here, and he loves being here, representing Newcastle United. If you look at Sandro's time on the pitch, in appearances, in starts, and if you look at that heat map, he covers a huge amount of ground, and we really need his energy. So in summary and conclusion, there was really little that we didn't know in this press conference from Eddie, except for the potential return of Sven and Bruno and Miley, and how reliant we are now on Tonali as arguably the only fit first-class choice of midfield player that we have left. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, then please hit the like button. And if you wish to see more of my vlogs in the match series that I do for every match now, then hit the subscribe button. And again, thank you for watching, and let's hope for a result tomorrow night. Newcastle play Man City on Wednesday evening, and this is your programme guide. I'm Ken, and this is Inside the Toon. First of all, let's take a quick look at the transfer deadline and the transfer window in January. It ended on Monday, and we did not sign anyone. Our club captain, Jamal Lascelles, who's been with us for 12 years, was due to have a medical on the Monday, and I expect sometime on Tuesday as I record this that the transfer has gone through. Jamal was with us for 12 years and most of the Ashley time, and he helped us get back up in that championship season with Rafa, and I think he's done a fantastic job for the club, and I wish him all the best. Stupid rumours on transfer deadline day. Sandro's agent denied ever contacting Arsenal. Arsenal said they had no contact with Newcastle, and Newcastle had no contact with Arsenal. Again, rumours of Fulham offering 20 million for Joe Willock. Again, most of this was denied, and we will not know for a long time whether those two, Tonali and Willock, were actually true stories or not. 4 key players were lost in January: Cher, Tino, Bruno, Joe Linton. And we have doubts about Botman and Miley now, following the Liverpool match where they sat on the bench, and afterwards it was confirmed that they were not fit. One more injury. If we get one more injury, disaster really, because we're just running out of players. Our under 21s don't seem to come up to muster and are not being used. The only one on the horizon is Alex Murphy, who sat on the bench with the squad this season. So who knows? But it's not good at all, folks. Eddie, in his post-match comments following the defeat in Liverpool at Anfield, pretty much summed up our current form for me. Eddie is frustrated. He said we started the game well. We went man for man, and we got the first goal. He tried to move on by saying there's no time to dwell on it, because obviously Man City's on Wednesday. But hard to take positives out of the Liverpool game at the moment, even though the first half was good. We're 2-0 down, and we have a lot to do on Wednesday. Pep and Man City have their own problems. They're drawing too many games in the league recently. They let slip a 2-0 win at Tottenham, and ended that with 2-2. They clawed their way into the top 8 on the final day of the Champions League match day 8 season. So that would have boosted their morale. However, they do seem to be slipping some goals. But they have a massive squad compared to our very small squad now due to injuries. So if we look at how this might be played out on Wednesday evening, tactically, obviously City will dictate. They'll have most of the ball, no doubt. But will their passes really be cutting? And will their shooting boots be on? Newcastle's best hope is obviously in the transition, in the breaking away at speed, and will be set up to do that, no doubt. Unless he starts with Big Nick, and we look to spread the game to the wings and produce some crosses, use the free kicks, and use Big Nick. This match is definitely pivotal to the season. We've got Villa in the Cup coming away. We've got Brentford at home in the league. And we have a huge fixture list and a huge injury list. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe. It's absolutely free. And the next video coming out in the match series is my predictions, team and score. Look out for it soon. So this is my vlog where I predict what team Eddie's going to put out and also predict the score. So this is part of your match day series. I'm Ken and this is Inside the Toon. As usual, it's very hard to determine and predict what team Eddie's going to select on the day. I've gone for Pope, Trippier, Chow, Botman and Hall. No real change there from Liverpool. Then I got Willock, Tonali and Ramsey. And then I've got Barnes, Visser and Gordon. You could change Visser for Big Nick as well. Obviously, I've discounted all the 7 injured players or doubtful players. And I'll be surprised if they make the starting 11. You got Bruno, Botman, and Miley all carrying knocks. Joe Linton sidelined. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, but am I optimistic? Not really, but let's see what happens next. So I've looked at the predicted scores from an optimistic place and looked at the options that we got to try and get back into the final again as we are the cup holders. Obviously, if we win 2-1 away, we'll lose 3-2 on aggregate. If we win 2-0 and it goes through extra time, it'll go to penalties. If we win 3-2 away, it'll be a great win. However, we'll lose 4-3 on aggregate. If we win 3-1 away and it's 3-3, again, it still goes to penalties. Away goals do not count. It's double. And obviously, if we draw 2-2, we lose 4-2 on aggregate. So we'll see. I'm really not the optimist in this case. I do think we will score a goal, but I don't think it'll be enough to get through on the night to the final. I really hope I'm wrong. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe. It's absolutely free. The next vlog after this one will be Eddie's team news, which we all look forward to. Away the lads. Eddie has named his team to face Man City this evening, so let's take a look at it now. So this is the first time I've looked at the team since it's just come out. Ramsdale in goal, Trippier, Hall, Botman, Tonali, Gordon, Chow, Big Nick, Willock, Byrne and Ramsey. On the bench, Pope, Visser, Barnes, Basula, Elanga, Jay Murphy, Alex Murphy, Sahar and Neve. So he's gone with Big Nick up front with the wingers of Gordon. It's probably 4-1-1 maybe, because he's got midfielder Tonali, Willock, Ramsey. So yeah, probably 4-1-1 I'd imagine. So a bit of a mix there. Pope swapped out for back on the bench for Ramsdale to give him a rest. And then Visser. So he's obviously gone for the height in this one, looking to see if we can cause some naughty goals and destruction in the Man City defence. Well, we've gone there with hope and not expectation. Fingers crossed this might do the trick, and it might not. So we'll wait and see. Thank you for watching. This is part of my match series. There'll be a half-time report and a full-time report this evening, and let's hope for a great night. Away the lads. Half-time at the Etihad, and Man City are winning 3-0 and 5-0 on aggregate. Let's take a look at how we got to this place. said in his this was the game is going to be massive. We have to bring positive body language, positive intentions, and try to impose ourselves on the game and play our way. Well, for the first 5 minutes, they had the ball. Um, and in the seventh minute, Man City scored an early goal, quick break, skip past Chow, and it was in the net. In the ninth minute, we could have equalised. A massive chance for Willock, put through by Gordon, who had a really good run. And Willock tried to take it round Trafford, the goalie, and failed, sadly. And then still at the other end, did a good save. So we're 3-1 down. Sorry, 3-1. We're 3-0 down after 12 minutes on aggregate. Point. How superb the Newcastle travelling supporters have been, um, knowing that they're now 3-0 down and they are making a truckload of noise. So it got worse in the 21st minute, headed down by Byrne into the path of Gordon, and Trafford saves. It could have been 2-1 to Newcastle by now, and it's not. Man City go up the other end and score again in the 29th minute, and it's 4-0 on aggregate, and the game is over. And then in the 32nd minute, Burnley's defence put on his ass. The really turned very well against Burn, and then it was put in the net. 3-0 tonight, 5-0 on aggregate. And yes, you guessed it, the Newcastle supporters are still singing. If this was a boxing match, either the ref would have stopped it or the corner would have thrown in the towel. But we don't have that choice. And then 42nd minute, Gordon's on the ground as the cameras turn on him, and he's holding his left hamstring. Physio comes on and virtually automatically gets on the headset and says, bring on Barnes, which we did. Gordon walks off. I can't really tell you whether it's a bad hamstring. It wasn't really limping, but he was definitely feeling it. 47th minute, handball VAR, checking it, no decision. Again, I still don't understand this law about handball anymore. Pictures down below pretty much summed up before the match started to me how we were feeling. Gordon looked pensive. Trippier, our captain, looked pensive. Ramsdale looked worried. And then in the middle there, you've got Eddie making notes continuously through this half. So we're out of the cup. We're not coming back from 5-0. And my next report will be the full-time whistle. So let's hope it's not a horrible result and then we get some pride back into Newcastle. The only pride there at the moment for me is the Newcastle supporters. I feel Hall played well. I thought Gordon was doing okay. And then the rest of it is frustrating and disappointing, as usual, when you follow Newcastle United. So this is part of my match series set of videos and reports that I do. And this is the halftime report. So thank you for watching. And I will produce a full-time report later on this evening. And we'll see how we get on in the second half and whether we can bring back a small smile or two to the travelling supporters with a goal and no goals against us, maybe. A fluke goal for Man City very early on gave them a 3-0 lead on aggregate over the two legs. Soon after, in the first half, Willock and Gordon must score when they had one-on-ones, but they didn't. In the second half, Visser should have scored early on. Elanga scored a great goal, but could have easily had a hat-trick. Looked like we had two decent shouts For penalties, the first were a handball, VAR said no, and the second was for a foul on Visser, again no. Throughout this, the support from the Newcastle fans was immense. Now let's see how the match went in detail. So for the second half, 3 substitutions made by Eddie straight away. Visser, Murphy and Elanga came on for Big Nick, Willock and Hall, all who were substituted. Hall had a good first half, in my view. Willock, except for his miss, tried really hard, and Big Nick ran around. So in the 50th minute, Elanga had a good run and gets a corner. And then in about the 55th minute, big chance for Man City, which is passed wide of the post. However, just before that, and it's not in my notes, Visser went down in the box and nothing was given for it. In the 61st minute, Elanga came in from the wing into the box, dribbled round a couple of players and slotted it into the corner of the net. A brilliant finish. 3-1 on the night. So again, in the 66th minute, Elanga breaks and squares it to Barnes, who puts it in the back of the net. Nice finish, but he was offside. Again, in the 70th minute, this time Barnes was the provider to Elanga this time, and it's a bad miss, unfortunately. Would have made it 3-2 and 5-2 on the night. 71st minute, Man City made 3 changes, including Haaland, who really struggles to score against Newcastle, and he did not do that this evening. Another booking is Tonali's pull down. So that's, I think, about 3 for Man City in the evening. And the Newcastle supporters are still singing their hearts out. Class. In the 81st minute, how did we not score? The ball is passed along the goal line by Elanga, and Visser just can't reach it. Needs bigger toes, basically. Haaland's through on goal in the 82nd minute. Ramsdale makes a great save, corner to Man City. 3 minutes later, Haaland again, he gets in, and Ramsdale saves it again, folks. In the 90th minute, Tonali, who's run around all match and done his best, snatches at a shot, and it's saved by Trafford. So it finishes 3-1 on the night, 5-1 over 2 legs, and Newcastle are not going to Wembley this year. So that's 3 semi-finals in 4 years, 2 finals, and 1 where we were winners last year. A very good return for Eddie in the team. We're just, at the moment, we're carrying far too many injuries, and this was, again, 1 match too far. And with Gordon going off injured, the options become even more limited. So thank you for watching my video, and if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. Subscribe for the next round of videos coming out for the Brentford match series, and it's absolutely free, by the way, subscribing. So not a great night. My brother and his nephew are coming back from Manchester as I record this, and along with about 6,500 other Geordies. Take care. This is the final word as I take a look at what Eddie had to say after the match. Overall, we lost 3-1 on the night and 5-1 over the aggregate of the 2 matches. I'm Ken, and this is Inside the Toon. There's a bit to get through here as Eddie gave a long interview after the match to Sky Sports. Obviously, he came out and said he was disappointed. It wasn't the start we wanted. Dan had gone to clear the ball and it had gone off their attacker and gone in. And that summed up the start of the game in the first half for me as well. So in both games, if you look back, he said, we're very frustrated. We only scored 1 goal in 2 games. We don't feel we should have lost the first leg 2-0 on the balance of opportunities created. The last thing you want to do is to chase a game, and that's pretty much what we did in the first half. Eddie said he was really annoyed with the first half display because we pride ourselves on being really organised, and tactically we wanted to be able to handle any problems the opposition gave us. But he did go on to say, I just don't think we were good enough. Our duels were off. That gave us huge problems. We didn't defend well at all. We're still fighting on several fronts, he said, is a sort of rally cry. Um, and that so the season's not over. The games are still coming thick and fast, Eddie added. It is painful, and I totally agree with him. I think every other Newcastle supporter at the moment would say it's painful. Going out in the semi-final, we so enjoyed last season. Eddie said the ride was wonderful. He said we are finding it difficult at the moment, having just played Paris, Liverpool, and now Manchester City away. Tough schedule for any team to face. There are no excuses, he said. It's just the reality. We're missing some really big players, and I think you could feel that from their performance tonight. Eddie trying to explain and analyse why our away form is so poor at the moment in 2025. He said last year we went to several grounds and went into the games really believing that we could win. The team has been knocked in recent weeks. We lost some big players. And we've been in the games throughout these games, especially in the last two, he felt. It's hard to. We have played well. This is my thought. We have played well at times in the last two games. It's just we've not played well for long enough. And our defending four against Liverpool, and now three against Man City in this game, we're leaking goals. The however to this, and this is my thought, is that the back four picking itself because of the injuries. The midfield is picking itself because of the injuries. We've now lost Gordon, who won't due to a hamstring. So again, all of a sudden the wingers pick themselves to a large extent. The only real option or decision that Eddie has now, until players start to return, is whether he plays Big Nick or Visser up front, because we really don't play 4-4-2 at all, or 4-4-1-1 with Big Nick behind Visser. It's just not an option at the moment. So Eddie finished off by concluding that we haven't defended well enough, and we haven't taken a lot of the chances that we've created. So we still believe that we're a good team. We just need to protect confidence levels at all costs, and that's now his first thought. My brother and nephew were both at the match last night, and afterwards, in an exchange of messages with him as he travelled back home in the early hours of the morning, he summed it up pretty well for me. It was a fluke goal for them early on, the Dan Burn deflection, which Eddie confirmed in his thoughts as well. My brother said Willock and Gordon must score the one-on-ones that they had. Second half, Visser should have scored early on. Elanga scored a great goal, but could have easily had a hat-trick. Looked like we had two decent penalty shouts denied. The handball, which I agree with, and the Visser foul, maybe. That's my thought. The support was immense throughout, he said, and you could tell that from the television if you had the sound slightly up, even if you were listening to, say, the Toon review in their commentary. So I think pretty good summary from my brother there. Obviously disappointed. He went with hope, but not expectation. The journalists had their say straight after the match last night, and these are some of the thumbnails, along with the YouTubers from the fans' channels. So the journalist talked about reality, Craig Hope said it was an insult to injury, especially with Pep trying to tap up Tonali after the match. That really needs to be looked at going forward. And obviously Gordon's injury. Paul at the Toon review called it a shambles. I listened to most of their commentary, and him, Billy, and Alex were extremely frustrated and very vocal throughout their commentary last night. Adam P really wasn't happy. He's been to all these matches away this year, and he's struggling to handle it. Having watched Newcastle from the mid-60s through the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. The 90s were great. 2000s up to Bobby Robson until he was hounded out was good. And then we had the likes of Souness and Dennis Wise, Joe Kinnear, and then Steve Bruce. So Eddie Howe, in my mind, is a very, very good manager, and one that I would like to see out the season at least, and beyond. But other people have opinions the opposite, and that's fine. However, I've seen some really bad managers at Newcastle. Gordon Lee, for example, stripped the team of all the talent, had a very workmanlike team. We did get to a final. I'll give him credit for that. However, we lost our entertainers in those days that we had. Anyhow, that's my little rant over with. As usual, it's on to the next match, and it's going to be Brentford away. And we're going to put out a team that pretty much picks itself, because there's nothing coming through from the under-21s at the moment that Eddie and the staff think are worth trying out. And we can't try out. We want to get into Europe, even if it's the conference. We still need to be in Europe next season. So thank you for watching. That concludes the match series against Manchester City in the second leg of the Carabao semi-final. Disappointingly, we lost. Next up is Brentford on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff. And let's hope we can pull a performance out of the bag at home. Away the lads.